Well, welcome back to Pokemon vs. Godzilla, or Kaiju at this point, since Godzilla won't be the only franchise I do. So, today we have, if you read the title, Eternatus vs. Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla from, the Monsterverse, and Eternatus from Pokemon's Generation 8, Sword and Shield. Now, why? Both were wasted. If I really want to be honest with you, both had a lot of potential to be, be something. Be some shit. But, their respective franchises had them be like, no, you're gonna be fodder. Which, I mean, for the most part, one or the other is not fodder, if we want to be honest. But, etc. I can go over days on who's more fodder. But, today we're going to talk about who would win. So, let's get this over with, because this intro is already about to be a goddamn minute long. Now, what does Mechagodzilla's skill? Now, the Envy got some buffs, which isn't saying a lot, but hey, a buff is a buff, okay? So, basically, now, like, at least the top tiers, anyways, should be like around large start of solar system. Mechagodzilla, anyways, if we go off like what he would typically skill, is that he should be large planetary. Why? Well, to be fair, his photon stream, is it photon? Photon stream is, stronger than him. Like, stronger than God's atomic breath. At least the one that he uses, like, to drift through the whole Earth. And we already know that's calculated the planetary with its atomic values. Mechagodzilla is stronger than his, and you could argue that it gives him to large planetary. Now, since his energy source is more directed to the hollow Earth, and we know that Godzilla can do the hollow Earth portals, which get as far the dwarf star levels, and, the large star shit, you could try and argue Soda for Mecha, but I don't know if he gets that far, then I don't even think he even gets large star. But, I mean, if you really want to goon him, just say that he, quote-unquote, somehow, some way, is stronger than Thermo. I call them both names. And say that he's stronger than the second Emperador and on Shimo's level. You do you with that information. I don't agree with it, but gooning is kind of what we have to do here for Mecha, since he's so ass. Like, you won't believe the amount of ass this motherfucker is. But this man's the weakest, well, Cyberzilla exists, but this motherfucker is ass garbage. But enough Mecha little ranting, but anyways. Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Mecha at best is probably gonna be like dwarf star to star level at like max. But that's kind of all I can give him. I mean, he doesn't have a lot to go off of his scaling wise, and even if you cut out of the solar system, you're gonna see why that wouldn't matter jack shit to Eternatus. You're gonna see why would it matter. So, yeah. As for his speed, he should be FTL comfortably. His beam and Godzilla, well, first of all, Godzilla's atomic breath is said to be composed of Cherenkov radiation, but also light. Cherenkov radiation moves are like, I didn't say it right though. Cherenkov, okay, this isn't a Chronic Syndrome, okay, thank God. But it moves at like 70% the speed of light, which should already give him relativistic speeds. However, characters like Ghidorah and Kong could dodge it, and Mechagodzilla could stalemate it, and even Shimo as well. So you can go ahead and argue at least FTL, possibly FTL plus, but I mean, that's not too bad. And for his hacks, I'll get a buck with you. I read you I was gonna do comp of both, but this might do. In the case of this original comp Mecha, just MV Mecha only. But like, he doesn't have a lot of hacks. I mean, the best I can find is that he's a durability negation, but then everything else is just weapons, like, his beam, the missiles, even like his supercharged punch. Well, no, that's the Duranator, but he doesn't have nothing. I mean, the concepts say that he has like soul manipulation, or even a novel, whatever source says this, but I don't think that would particularly matter, and he doesn't have this at all in the movie or any other extended material. So you would be fair generous to him to say that he has it. So, yeah. So, unironically speaking, the final stats Mechagodzilla cap set is just large planetary to dwarf star, maybe star level. I'm not too sure on him being large star. You can argue with, but I'm not too used to envy scaling that much. So correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But he should be also FTL speeds. So yeah. Not for Eternatus. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Eternatus being a legendary Pokemon, he would upscale like typical like Gigantamax Pokemon. They're just Dynamax Pokemon, but just special a little bit. Most of their statements is the fact that they can like, you know, put holes in mountains, destroy mountains, whatever. It's all that, right? So this should grant him probably like around mountain level, maybe even large mountain levels of AP at a low ball. So yeah. But if you want to higher it and stuff, I got you. Zacian is stated to be able to like cut the ocean in two, and this gets calculated to multi-continental. I'll probably have to link in the description for that or whatever. So yeah. Now you may be saying, but Bird. Well, people. But Mechagodzilla, how does Eternatus go to Zacian? Now, let me tell you this now. Yes, Zacian and Zamazenta do bypass whenever Eternatus attacks. However, he does things that like they don't, like, you know, warping space, which is directly stated he warps space time, which is already gonna be like a fourth dimensional thing. So yeah, there's not much I can say for that. He'll be 40 for that. And yes, they are able to bypass, but they don't one-shot him. Even with their signature moves, which do like, what, 2 times more damage to like Dynamax Pokemon, Eternatus can still harm them. Like, I mean, they're both still type, and he gets like max flare or it's just flamethrower on steroids. So yeah. So I would say that he would scatter them. Like, I wouldn't say they were leagues above him. They're like pretty much all in the same tier. However, as you just heard, there's higher ends for Eternatus. Since he's able to warp reality, well, not reality, no, not yet. I don't think Game Freak make him that busty. He's not like Dialga by Pocky or anything. But he should be anyways 4 to 5th dimensional. So things not looking good for Mecha. But what about his speed? Well, his speed should be in the same tier, if not higher. I mean, Eternatus, based off like statements and stuff, it's like basically above everybody. So yeah. And one thing I fucking mentioned is that technically a little bit more low balling-ish or mid ball is that Eternatus is responsible for creating the darkest day. Now, it's essentially the same thing. Like, the Eye of Arm and Crown Tundra are still there regardless in like the lore. That we're not gonna put some bullshit saying they only exist in the prison. Like, what? No. They existed even back then, during when it first happened, which also gets calculated to multi-continental. So that's just some more mid-ball stuff, I guess. But going back to the whole original point with being 4th dimensional, 4th to 5th dimensional, yeah, it's just him warping space-time. That's just about it. Nothing I can't say. I mean, he's pretty much unchallenged by like everybody else in the verse. Well, not in the verse, in the region. But I mean, you can argue he would upscale at least avatars or base ones of other legendaries before him. So I mean, it's something you can do. I'm not gonna stop you. But hey, that's really if you want to do that. And as for his speed, as I was saying, he should be, considering he's above the likes of Pokemon like Gigantamax Toxtricity and Gigantamax Pikachu, which weaponize lightning and shit. Which lightning anyways is like massive hypersonic. And then it's stated that Eternatus is like Dynamax Cannon and Eterna Beam are both like beams. Beams are light. So this would make him, at least in his combat interaction speed, at least FTL. So yeah, ironically they're like the same speed. But what about his hacks? Do I need to really elaborate too much? I'm not gonna pull like from like all of like the moves he learns, because I think that make it way more unfair. But from what the game shows, he has intangible hacks. Unless you let that damn crown sword and crown shield, you're not gonna do jack shit to him, or even have something in general just bypass it, even if we ignore any universe. So that doesn't it. Yeah, Mecha's just gonna be fucked there. That's why he's gonna be fucked up. 1, 2 for the next time. as I've already said, he warps reality and such. Well, not fuck. Warp space time. Excuse my French. My bad, but he warps space time. Third thing, all Dynamax, Gigantamax Pokemon, they all have like power notification. They can basically go like, oh, you're stat boosted? Haha. Nerf. They basically all have power notification. Although you could argue that Eternatus is probably way more extreme because, you know, he created the damn phenomenon. So that's another thing too. Technically, he does stat amp himself because when he becomes a Eternatus. So that's another thing. And he's also able to create I don't think I need to say too much else. Apparently in the manga, he's able to like possess you with his poison type or something like that. I'll probably elaborate this in a community post or something because it's still weak to me. But yes, I'm just going over the games. God forbid if we include his moves, which I will include some of his moves like recover. Recover makes it so that you can regenerate on a cellular level, as stated, and then you have moves like light screen and reflect, which are able to create light structures of light in the form of like walls. So I think, with all said and done, this fight is not close. It's not gonna be close. I know there's a lot of anti-feats and a lot of wank with both sides. Sure, you can try and argue Mecha be fifth dimension off the Ghidorah's Rage transcends space and time off the novel, which, I mean, you can try. But even at the same time, they're both like the same speed. Eternatus is probably faster, and he just out-hacks us, genuinely. So I feel like with that being said, yeah, Eternatus would unironically beat Mechagodzilla with like low diff. Just out of all what the so far Pokemon versus Kaiju videos I've done so far, this is probably gonna be the most overkill one for right now. Well, that is until I do something like Destroyer versus Giratina, or the Crosman versus like Showa Ghidorah, and then like Zygarde versus Showa Godzilla. Just something that's gonna come under plan. Maybe I'll even do Groudon versus Muda Prime one day, because this buff should still count to like others as well. Maybe a Team versus Kyogre. I don't know. It won't just be Godzilla. It would be other meters as well. Like maybe it's just Ultraman or even Gamera or Perseverance, a little anything. As long as it has Kaiju, and I'll do it against like Pokemon. So yeah, your winner for today is Eternatus, which means that Mecha is more fraudulent and more wasted. I mean, you could try and argue he scales Tsushima, but hey, it doesn't matter to someone who's like 4th to 5th dimensional. So yeah, or well, 4 to 5D hacks. I think is a better way to say it, because like, you know, he's still 3D, but you know, you get the point. So I think until next time. And next time will probably be like real soon, because I need to get back on track. I think I'll call it a day. Stay tuned for that collab video with me and Viper talking about, you know, the Robert versus Sinister, if you haven't already figured that out. But until then, the Running Ghidorah signing off. See ya.